Hello fiction fiends, my name's Sonja and I write, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And we are on day 13 and 14 of this wild ride that is called the Jackman Scholars in Residence program. While this week is a shorter one because of Victoria Day Monday being a holiday, it was still super duper busy. Beginning to push into the final stretch of the video game research program, it was time to get ourselves into gear and start uploading our work into the inventory. My first essay has officially been completed and now sits at a delicious 4.2 thousand words. Now my team is running through everything I've written and completing some major edits. This is what my paper looks like with only half of the edits in. Oh my goodness. And to give you a quick refresher on what my paper is all about, here's my introduction blurb that will be included in the inventory to help explain what my writing is all about. I already know what you're thinking. Sonja, this is so crazy. And I'm here to tell you, yes, it absolutely is. And on top of that, on top of all the writing and editing that my team has been doing with me so far, I've begun writing a new essay that will be ready for edits around the day 15 and day 16 mark of this research program. This essay is all about Roland Barthes and his paper, The Death of the Author. In his essay, essentially Barthes is saying that if an author has their name on their writing, they're automatically influencing the reader. Thus, no author should have their name on their written work. Does this also apply to video games? We were all thinking that because this would be a 4-day long week because of the holiday, that this would be an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl type chillaxed week, but absolutely not. Everybody is writing a million things at the same time, and the inventory is filling up so nicely. And I bet you're interested in some of the work that my team is doing too. So here's a breakdown of some of the things that we've got going on for our research so far. On top of my writing, my teammates Mitzi and Dean are now having their writing edited too. Dean is writing about the ridiculousness that has become first-person shooter games and how customizable gun and character skins as well as taunts and voice lines have taken war games from a semi-realistic representation to a full-blown make-believe war. Dean's worked super hard on this piece, and I have to give him props for not only working on this but also editing my own work. Thank you. Mitzi, too, has been bombarded with work as she's on the verge of putting up her fantastic Outer Wilds essay for edits. She's written a beautiful piece that features a detailed description of the Outer Wilds game, as well as questions for the reader to inspire more essays to develop on the topic of this game. And on triple top of that, she's also working with Gravine and Anya to create a pedagogy section in the inventory that teachers and students alike can use to learn how and why we study video games. So essentially what I'm saying is that everybody is pumping out work. Everybody's pumping out writing. Even the people who imagined they wouldn't be focused on writing in this program are putting out writing. For instance, Gravine, sitting here as our formatting queen, has had to write out our entire style guide for the inventory. It's so beautiful. A style guide is a set of standards for the writing, formatting, and designing of our document, and she has written it front to back, baby, and is getting it ready for us to see this week. And then we have Anya writing a piece called G&G, Gaming for Non-Gamers. I've only got to see a glimpse of it so far, but it's already stunning. She's writing a narrative style essay that discusses her story of going from being an absolute enjoyer of watching other people play games, not really dabbling in games herself, but enjoying the appeal of them perchance, to being a full-blown gamer. It is such a delicious piece, and I cannot wait for it to be finished. Wow, absolutely nuts. That was a mouthful of information, and while I give you some time to digest the work we've completed thus far this week alone, I'd like to talk about day 13 being an interview day. The video game squad got to take part in an unofficial interview day where we spoke about video game stuff, of course. After having a quick chat with a humanities journalist from UTSC, the video game team had the opportunity to briefly talk about our work and what we've made thus far for the inventory in our Jackman Scholars in Residence program. This interview was very conversational and so relaxing and put little pressure on our shoulders because we were all just chit-chatting about the work we love to do with a very kind and down-to-earth interviewer. But even after we finished talking to the journalist, even after taking team photos for her article in the Humanities Journal, even after escaping the interview room, our interview was not over. We were not safe from public humiliation, shame, or the teaching staff at U of T because it was time for the dreaded Research Roundtable. Every week on Thursday, all of the Scholars in Residence teams from all across U of T join into a fat, thick Zoom call and discuss the research respectively conducted thus far in the program. During week 1, only students from the St. George campus presented their work on the Thursday via Zoom. Then week 2, it was my home campus of Mississauga presenting their work. And finally, the time has come to us, the Scarborough students. And while I do enjoy a good, juicy, delicious presentation in front of my peers, the thoughts of hundreds of students and tens on tens of professors watching us discuss the research we've conducted thus far is a little bit nerve-wracking. But not a challenge I cannot tackle. That's why I decided to open up my portion of the discussion during the Research Roundtable by cracking the driest, crummiest joke known to mankind, only that my teammates understood. Live, laugh, love, dare I say. And because Dr. Nick and literally every other person watching us in all of U of T thought we were brilliant, Friday, day 14, was game day. But first, here's how the roundtable went.
Can I snatch the mic?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Thank you, Dean. Hi, everyone. My name is Sonja. I've been given the title Sensory Sonja as of 2 hours ago because all of my research with the inventory and with this team involves the senses. More of a stepping away from just doing the traditional style of research and looking more into the senses and how that impacts gameplay. 2 of the research papers I've been working on recently involve sound, the first of which is how a silent protagonist affects gameplay opposed to a protagonist that you can hear their voice. And then the second piece I'm working on now is about how sound dramatically affects horror games and elements in horror. And on a completely opposite end of the spectrum, I'm also working with visuals because I've been putting together some design options for our resources title, cover page, and it's been a very interesting experience getting to work with learning how to implement different fonts and how that really sways the reader into perceiving what our work is and using color theory. And yeah, I've been doing everything about the senses, so that's my work.
On Friday, as per usual, our research period was spent playing the coolest video games and hanging out like teams do. I brought my Switch and played one of my new favorite games, Cult of the Lamb, and while I pledged allegiance to the one who waits and sought out to destroy Leshy, I got to watch Dean play one of the coolest games ever. Anya's significant other, Sebastian, is a game dev working with his team at Digital Firewood, a very snazzy gaming studio, might I add, and has actually made a game that we got to test out called Electrify. Electrify is a precision platformer that follows the character Fi, a shockingly brilliant protagonist with powers to help you move across the map and unlock secret passages like no other. Fi's electric powers help her to zip and zap around different levels, lending the player the ability to experience an electrifying type of movement and unique powers throughout gameplay. Super duper cool. The build that the video game team was given of Electrify was just a proof of concept for us to test out, just like a tester version. And now Digital Firewood has started the full-scale development of the game. Digital Firewood has also mentioned another game that is way closer to the release date called Breach the Abyss, which already has a trailer and a stream page up for your viewing pleasure. In the description of this video, I've added the link to Digital Firewood's Linktree that can connect you to their Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and more. So you should definitely check them out, as well as a link to the trailer for Breach of the Abyss, which I highly recommend you add to your wish list. It looks amazing. From crazy interview days to relaxing game days, days 13 and 14 have been so crazy, but so fantastically productive at the same time. I hope you're enjoying my content so far, and I can't wait to show you all the crazy things that the video game team is up to when visiting my home campus of Mississauga. Let's go UTM! Ciao for now, fiction fiends, and I can't wait to see you next time.
Oh yeah.
I love that you committed to it.
Like half of the time. Thank you very much. They're all like glued there. No, I think this is the most likely one.
I love you, Sonja.
You gotta try it.
You gotta try it.
What's Paul's reaction?
There's no taste.
Yeah, there's no taste. It doesn't taste like anything.
Like meal.
Wow.
Spicy.
Is it? What would you rate it?
Look at rated 10. Meow.
What the hell?
Were there not like condiments? No.
I love that is what you ran with. I was just trying to go with the audience. Yeah.